A warm welcome to everyone this evening. As someone once said, I wouldn't change you for the world, but I would love to change the world for you. This is the way we think about a child who has special needs. They have redefined our lives, our thoughts, and our actions in ways not thought possible. Our little world, though so small, is filled with love, compassion, and hope. Their zest for life, their strength, their enthusiasm, and above all, their gentleness towards all is a never ending lesson. A child with special needs inspires you to be a special kind of person. Each day is a new day, and we as parents are getting better and better. This evening, to share their life's learning lessons, we have with us Mrs. Varsha Bankar, Mrs. Jyoti Nair, Mrs. Sheila Ferrao, and Mrs. Rekha Alathur. We shall start with Mrs. Varsha Bankar, a mother of a loving and affectionate son, Amai. Over to you, Mrs. Bankar.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, my son Ami, he's 12 years and he's a Down syndrome child. So now, when I see this journey of 12 years, uh, I I really think I have learned a lot. I've learned a lot, and it has all changed my life. So I few small things which I really want to share with when I see Ame is first one what I learned from him is when something he likes, when he wants to do it, how much ever difficult it is, he doesn't want to give up. So that is one thing I have definitely learned from him, because even I was getting frustrated at times when he was not able to do something, particularly with academics. He has learning disabilities, he has problems while writing as well as reading, but the thing is that he likes it. And I have seen I have experienced it when I had gone to his school, and his teacher had called me for to help her for with his exams. So at that time I had seen that it was difficult for him to write and complete his maths paper, because writing in sequence 1 to 100 is a very difficult task for him, because his attention span is so less. And again, there is a difficulty in writing and all that. So he does it very slowly, but teacher gave him some time, but he was taking time. So she said let it be, and she took away his paper. But this child did not want to give up. He was all the time telling me numbers, numbers, I want to. He's not that verbal and he cannot complete the sentence, but he was telling me this again and again. And every time after that I had seen that even if it is difficult, he wanted to give full effort. So at that time I really learned that if he is he wants to complete his goal, I really need to support him. And how much uh, perseverance he has, I should learn it from him. And that is one thing I have really learned from. And after that I understood to give, just put efforts for him without thinking for the results. Because if he can show it to me, he can show put his efforts continuously, even if it is so difficult, why can't we do it? So that is one thing I really learned. And after that I'm only giving efforts, putting effort for his reading, writing, even for his speech and all that. And I don't get frustrated. Many of the times I remember though, that uh, that moment when I realize it. And I I keep myself calm, and I I put the efforts. So this is definitely what we should observe from our children. uh, Many of the times, we you worry a lot for them, whether they will be able to do it, or whether they, if I'm taking him somewhere, whether there will be any problems. And we keep many joys away from us, just to think, just to worry whether we'll have some problems, because Ame won't be able to do this. So one thing I want to share, whenever we wanted to go out for holidays, um, always we used to think a lot earlier for Ami whether he'll be able to do it. So when 3 years back, when we wanted to go to Italy, his father was worrying a lot, because there are all those destinations are really very crowded, and long queues and all. So whether Ami will be able to walk, or if he will get tired and all that. So he wanted to have some solution ready, and he was all the time thinking about it, rather than enjoying all those things, the planning and all that. So he was, because he was 10, it was difficult for us to get a stroller or something. But he still was trying to buy stroller, or he was trying to arrange something uh, at the hotel place or something. So but I was very confident about it, that it shouldn't be that problem. And I told him that let's try. I don't think Ami needs a stroller at this time. Maybe he is very slow, uh, I understand, and he doesn't walk that much at that time. All that is there, but I had that confidence that we would be able to manage. And I told my husband that let's give a chance. And if at all we felt that we are not able to manage, we will leave it there. But that will be a lesson learned for us, that whether we really face this kind of problem with him, whether we should try such things with him or not. And we went, without a stroller or without. And I told him that I just don't want any such thing to try with Ami. He will walk with us, and let's see whether he enjoys or not. And it was such a smooth and nice travel we had. And there I saw one thing, that yes, he does get tired, but he has that understanding and adjustment, that whenever he used to feel tired, just used to sit at one, wherever he get place, he used to sit. Then we understood that yes, now he wants a rest. After just 5 minutes or something, he used to get up and start walking. That is how he used to do it. And he only, his requirement was to get a nap of half an hour after the food. So wherever we were at that time, after the lunch, just give him a nap, and then he used to get fresh, and there was no complaint about walking or nothing, and he was only and only enjoying it. So this really, we felt that the decision that we had taken, it was such a good decision. And with such things only, we understand that they have a capability, they have a lot of capabilities. And they have that capacity to adjust with the things, and lot many like us. So we should not really limit uh, many of our things just because of thinking for them. And after that, I really plan to do lot many travels also. After that, even when we were planning to travel in India in trains, because that is again a different challenge. We were thinking whether he will sit for a long time in train, and the kind of toilets that we have. So many times I thought, but I said, let's, again, we had done that, now this is again a different thing, let's see. And this fellow had, there also he enjoyed, and he was talking to people, sitting at one place, because sitting at one place for so many hours is, I was really thinking whether he will be able to do it, he will do it, or he will get bored, or uh, whatever, I don't know. But there was I mean, he did not show any boredom, nothing. And there also he enjoyed a lot. So, so many things that we worry for them. But when we actually these challenges to them, they are not challenges for them at all. So that is a definitely a lesson learned for me. And thereafter, I just think, always that give them small challenges. They are as equal as the normal children, so called normal children. For our other children, we always think of giving them challenges. Okay, why don't we do this with them? Because we ourselves, we don't, maybe at times we don't realize their abilities, and we don't trust in their abilities. So uh, I don't think we should really do that. Only one thing I understand, that it is nothing that he has to achieve something or he has to do that. If I find that he is not able to, okay, then we can stop at that time. But we should not stop at the first stage itself, thinking that whether he will be able to do it. Instead, we should give them small challenges, and then we should, because they enjoy a lot, they are nothing less than a normal children. They want to do things. And for Ame, I have always seen that, in the beginning he finds things, he also has fears, he finds things that difficult. While swimming, I have seen that it was difficult for him to get into the pool itself in the first few weeks. But he overcame all those things, and now later on he started enjoying. Same thing when I started cycling for him. So at so many times I have seen this, that giving him challenges really makes his life more enjoyable. And because they like to learn, they like to do small and big things, and they also enjoy their achievements. So I feel this is one thing I have learned from him. And I feel that, instead of worrying for them at all the time, you just have to stop worrying and try things with them. It makes their life more interesting, and it gives lot of learning lessons. It has given lot of lessons to me. I have learned so many things from Ami. I can say that, earlier, I was working with in IT. I was working with Infosys, handling many projects, teams, and all that. And I was thinking, oh, this is my achievement. But now I feel, no, those are really small achievements. What what my when I put so many hours, efforts for me, for to achieve simple things with Ami, like walking, or like writing or reading. And after so many hours and struggle, when he shows his accomplishments, I feel that is much bigger than what I achieved earlier in my own life. So these are the things I feel he has really learned me lot many lessons in my life. Maybe with, sometimes I feel with the normal children, so called normal children, the life is really so normal. But with this child, my life has become so special. He has he has shown me what is called unconditional love, that everybody talks about it. But with our children, we really understand what is an unconditional love. And the smile, always that so infectious smile. Our days and so many years, I think it is totally, the life is totally changed with him. We have understood the life in much more better way than uh, others. So this is what I really wanted to share about the lessons that I have learned. Thank you,
Thank,
Karen.
thank you, ma'am. That was incredible. Thank you so much. Yes, now we have Mrs. Jyoti Nair. She has a lovely little daughter, full of enthusiasm, full of life always. Over to you, Jyoti.
Yeah. Thank you, Karen. And thanks for giving us this opportunity to speak our heart out. So I'm Jyoti, and I have a 17-year-old daughter, Samiksha, who is on the autism spectrum. So life has been a roller coaster ride since the last, I could say, 16 years or so. And it has, life itself has taught us, has given us many lessons. But the lessons that I have learned from my daughter, I can say that today they are the sweetest of lessons, and they are very deep. Like when Karen told about this topic, that's when I went back and I reflected on it, and I realized how much I've taught her. We've been thinking, all of us, or I've been thinking that I'm the one who's teaching her, do this, do that, but those are just tasks or some other things that I'm teaching her. But the real, what is real life, that I think she has taught me, and I've just listed down 5 learning lessons. So I'll just go one by one with them. So the first one I think that she's taught me is to find joy in the smallest of things. Like Karen said, she's very enthusiastic with anything. Smallest of small things will give her excitement, right? Like for me, the first thing that stressed me out when I heard about the lockdown in March was, what will I do with this child? You know, somebody who's used to going out every day evening to play down, just run around and play and have, and she's used to that from years. And with kids with autism, they are more used to structure. You know, they want their day to go in that way. So I was really worried. What am I going to do? I was not worried about the other things that everybody else was worried about, like what will happen to the maid, what will happen to the things and supply. Those things were not on my. This is what was hitting me. So at that time, but today now it's like more than 6 months, and she's the one who has adapted the most beautifully. Why? Because she finds joy in everything. You know, she's just been in the house. Anxiety doesn't let her go out. She's heard so much about corona. She's not stepped out of the house in the last 6 months. But every day morning, since her online classes have started, let it be her school. Okay, they're the same classes. The teachers are taking teaching lessons, but the joy of meeting her friends, talking to them, and the classes like the buddy center class, she just looks forward to it, just to interact with her friends, and she'll tell them the same stories again and again with whatever she's obsessed with. And they also very sweetly will listen to her. Maybe that is why she loves it more, you know, because they are not judging her. And that kind of joy I have seen, like she orders a small craft thing or something, and that comes, she'll be full of this, like you got, I will bake a cake together, she'll be so excited. Oh, wow, mom, we made this, we did this, all those kind of tears. And the fact is that in spite of her anxiety, she has strong anxieties, she has worked over them, and she has got over them because of this group. I have seen that, you know, like we had this salad cutting which Karen had taken, and she's very scared of cutting and all nice. But when she saw her friends, thing that she wants to do with them, that motivation, that happiness, it actually made her want to do. And now she wants to have the salad, like something which she never had before. She loves to have. So every day, like Ame's mom told, they surprise us. She surprises me on a daily basis. So this is one thing I found, that we crib so much. We find in small things, we find so much of, like, you know, this is not going right, that is not going right. She also tells me, she gets upset. Like, of course, she wants to go out, she wants to meet up, and I'm not saying that she doesn't want all that. But still, she's the one who is being least doing that in our house. You know, we've been doing it more, and she's been doing it less, because she's told, okay, this is a situation, and let's see what, like, you know, what we do with this the best we can. She's enjoying. So that was one of the main things I have learned, one of the beautiful things I've learned in the lockdown with her. And the second thing that I've learned from her is empathy. Lots and lots of empathy she has. And I find it very amusing that they say that people on the spectrum, they can't express themselves, they don't know what are these feelings. But I have not seen anyone with more empathy than Samiksha. Whenever anyone she knows has fallen sick or anything, like one of her friends was down with corona, she will immediately tell, I'm going to pray for her. And she'll truly believe that that prayer is going to work. Or if I have a migraine, she was upset some days back, she'll come to me, Mama, you're not well, your face is looking drawn. So she's observing these things, you know. So she'll just come and just do a little bit of massage for you, and you'll be fine, don't worry. So the way she relates to people, she understands their pain, my maid, her father was undergoing a cancer treatment a year back or so, and she heard me talking to her, and she was very upset. So she comes and tells me, you know, she's very upset because she loves her dad, na, and he's going through this, na, but I'm sure he'll be fine. That level of thinking, which we don't see with kids, we think they don't understand, and like, you know, they can't think, have these deeper feelings. But I have not seen this kind of deep empathy in very, very few people I have seen, you know, in today's world. So I feel I'm really blessed that she's of that way. The other thing I would like to say is what is ego? We don't know. Ego in the sense I'm talking about, like regular when we have fights, who should be the one who should say sorry? We always have these things, you know, in with couples, with our kids, with our parents, with our friends. We have these things when things go wrong. I am right and you are wrong. For her, that doesn't matter. For her, what matters is let everything be okay. Let no one let us not go upset. She will never go to sleep with an upset thing. She'll see to it that we resolve it. And we do have fights. Both of us keep having that. She always tells also, Mama, we fight, but we love each other, na? So it's okay. She look at me for approval. It's okay, like it's okay, right? I tell, yeah, it's okay. We love. That's why we fight. Also, it's fine. But her need to see that everything is fine, like, you know, at a very, very strong need. She'll come to me and she'll be crying. Also, she'll look at me. She'll tell me, I need a hug, you know, and that with that hug she will understand that it is over. We don't have to carry this. And such a big lesson for me, like, you know, because I am a person who carries. I would carry all these things, you know, for days carrying. And what are you doing in the end? You're just spoiling your days. You're not doing anything. You are the one who's getting the most, feeling the most terrible and most affected. Why we should carry all this? We have, our life is just so short. Why carry all these unwanted burdens? So that thing I learned from her, that it's not worth carrying all these things with people you love, with people you care. Is it worth? Why can't we just sort it out there and move along? That is one big thing I have learned from her. The other thing I have learned is there's nothing called as jealousy. I've never seen any jealousy in her. She's never jealous of, like, you know, anybody else. We do feel pangs of jealousy. We may not say, we may say no. And when somebody is doing really good, like, you know, oh my God, they are doing, why can't I do? I am not getting. But with her, if somebody is doing good, she'll be like, wow, wow, they're doing so well. It's so nice, like, you know, that they're doing well. She'll be happy for her friends. Of course, she feels, she knows that there are many things she's not able to do of her age, which her age kids are doing and all. But that she uses as a motivation to try and do something in that, or try and do. If she sees somebody has painted very beautifully, she'll be very happy that they've painted so well. And she knows that she's not so good in, but still she'll try in her own way. Something she'll do, like, is this nice kind of thing, you know, to make herself. So she takes it in that kind of positive way, which is very good. It's not a negative feeling of, like we say, a typical that jealous kind of feeling, which we have when we don't like, you know, that I have never seen. And none of our kids that I've seen. With all kids, with especially kids, they do not have such, they don't know what it is to be jealous and all. The other thing, like Amit's mom also said, is unconditional love. They just love you for what you are. Whether you are scolding them, whether you are hugging them, whether you're playing with them, whatever it is, they will always love you. She'll come and just through the middle of the day come and tell me, I love you, Mama, you're the best, Mama. And I'll tell, does she want something? Like, why is she telling me this? Nothing. She doesn't want anything from me. She just wants to tell me that. And I look at her like, you know, why? Just, I wanted to tell you, you know, I just want to tell you, like, why do you need an answer for why? Why am I telling this? Why is that thing in your head? Kind of look she'll give me. So I feel that that is very important, that we say we have unconditional, but there is always in our mind, in a neurotypical mind, we have some conditions. I like this person, this is the reason. I like that person, this is the reason. But without anything, like, let the person be as they are, I still love them. That is a very, very difficult thing. But she showed me that it is easy to do, because that is the way she does. Then the other thing and she's taught me is to believe in yourself. Like, you know, she has this dream, which if anybody listens, they'll think what kind of crazy dream it is. Like, you know, who's going to, where she's going to get it away, how is it going to happen? But she so genuinely believes that, you know, that is going to happen. She has this space for Hollywood movies. She's going to go there. She's going to meet. All this is very real for her. And every day she'll be telling me this, you know. And the way she believes in that, that itself took me out. Just look at her. She has no doubts. She's not worried about things which we think of. Do I have the skills? Do I have the contacts? Do I have this? Those things don't matter to her. This is my dream, and that this is the thing. And if you set out to want to achieve it, you can. And for me, that's a big learning, because even though I may seem confident and all that, I have a lot of doubts, like, about myself. Like, I want to do many things, but I'll think, do I have the skills? Am I really prepared for it now? Then this will happen or what? Then that will happen or what? Now, in spite of having the skills also, I will have these doubts, but for her, those things don't matter. So this is a big learning for me. And there, many times, because of that, especially in this lockdown, I have taken steps. I've told myself, come on, like, see, what is she teaching you? She's teaching you, believe in yourself, you can do it, like, and many times when I tell her, Samiksha, I'm thinking of doing this, you can do it, mama, do it, you can do it. She's telling it because I also repeat the same thing for her, but that makes a difference to me, the way she told it, and I'm telling that that's what she's doing always. And the last thing I would like to say is, it is probably because of her condition, also autism also, because they are used to a kind of a structure, kind of pattern, is discipline. If you tell Samiksha a thing at one time, and if it enters ahead that this is it, this has to be done, then you never ever have to tell her the second time. When swine flu happened many years back, I had told her about the importance of this washing of hands and this and all. So during this COVID, I didn't have to explain anything to her, because from then till today, she has been following that kind of a thing, and I never have to ever repeat it to her. Or like, if the teacher tells 5 minutes before you have to be there for the online class, she is every day before 5 minutes. She will make sure she is there. So there's no excuse for that. She will time herself. Or for her chanting, she does every day. She will do it in the morning from 7:30 to 8. Whether we do, whether we find reasons, there is no change in that. So especially with her food, from when we've been on a diet, and no matter where she goes, I don't have to worry that she will break that. Today she knows, of course, what is this. But even when she was this 5 or 6 year old, if she would go for parties where I'm not there, the host would always call me, Jyoti, Samiksha is telling to check with you if she can have these foods. Like, so that kind of discipline to have, which is so difficult for us. I see a food in front of me, I like it. It's very difficult for me to keep away from that, But for her, children are eating chocolates, things, and everything in front of her which she likes. But she will never even show you that, oh my God, they can have and I can't have. Today we, of course, have alternatives, but even from then. So these are big learnings that I have learned from her. And this is what I would like to share, that every time they surprise us, if they are way beyond, they have lots that they can do in life. They believe in themselves, and we should take that as a learning, and we should take it as a blessing. And I take it as a blessing that not only Samiksha, because of Samiksha, I know so many children, and all of them are a joy to me. So that's what I learned. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you so much, Jyoti. That was so incredibly inspiring. Thank you so much. We have now with us Sheila, Mrs. Sheila Ferrao. She has a lovely son, charming, great dancer, lovely singer, and so happy always. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you for this opportunity, for choosing this topic, first of all, and for this opportunity you've given us. Well, I'd like to start with my days before my marriage, and how Nathan has changed me in these 13 years. I grew up in Bombay, Bandra, and I was more of the fun-loving person, the type who would like to party and go for picnics and all that. But I learned after Nathan was born, I learned that he's not the same type of person that I am. And I've had to change my personality to suit him. First of all, he likes the house. He doesn't like outdoors. He likes to have fun in the house. And like Karen said, he loves to sing, he loves to dance. So I realized that it's not only the outdoors that is fun. You can have the same fun indoors too with Nathan, because he's a real joy. He keeps us entertained with his witty sense of humor, and his music. He wants music all the time, and he loves his dance. He loves to dance. So he has also taught us to appreciate music. And we also like to encourage him a lot in those fields, in the field of music, especially for dancing. And Karen gives us a lot of opportunities also. And then secondly, I would like to talk about his physical strength. He's got a tremendous physical strength in him. I realized that at age 4, he underwent a colostomy operation, which was a set of 3 operations, just one separating each other. And he was just 4 years old, but he went through it so well. And the strength that he showed was amazing, because the doctors had to struggle, to keep him down on the bed, to even give him a drip. It was like they needed about 8 people to pin him down. So that was the strength that he had at that age. And of course, it is a God-given strength that all these children are blessed with. So it made me realize that I don't have to worry so much about him in that sense. Like, he can take care of himself, he can fight for himself if he is faced with any sort of danger. And so that is one thing. Then a second thing is, what I've learned over these years is to have patience. I was a very impatient person. I wanted everything to be done fast. But with Nathan, it has to go at a slower pace. And especially with his studies, he's a slow learner. He has still not picked up his ABC and writing, even though I've been after him for 8 years. But I've had to have patience with that, and tremendous patience, because repeating the same ABCs and the same 1, 2, 3, it can get tiring. In fact, my friends ask me, you don't get fed up with it? But I've seen, like Amay's mother also said, I've seen in him that he still has that desire to learn, and he wants to learn. So I go on with it, hoping that one day he will pick it up. So that's what I've learned, to have patience and to go at a slow pace. And another thing is, what he has taught us is to live a life one day at a time, not to worry about the future so much, because he has no worries. He just doesn't care about what is going to happen tomorrow. He just lives for today. And so I've learned to take my life to one day at a time, just like him, and not worry so much about the future. Of course, it is there in all of our minds, at the back of our minds, what will happen, because we are growing old. But I don't. I just look at him and I see how cool and calm he is and he's not concerned about anything, and it helps me. It helps me to just tackle whatever situations we have on a day-to-day basis, rather than worry about them. And another thing is, he always is mostly he's very calm, but of course sometimes he gets upset very easy. His moods change, so we have to also change along with him. It was difficult to understand him in the beginning, but now we realize that when he's upset about anything, we just have to leave him aside for a few minutes. He's got his habit of self-talking, so he just talks to himself and he comes out of it. And so we don't get upset also now, because we used to worry about how to get him out of that mood swings. But now we learn to leave him alone, give him his time, give him his space, and he comes out of it after a few, say, 15, 20 minutes. So that's another thing about what I've learned from Nathan is that you don't need so many material things, the simplest of things will give him pleasure. And he still enjoys playing with his things like balloons or pom-poms or balls. He doesn't ask for big things. He doesn't worry us for any gifts, like other children do, But he takes pleasure in the simplest of things, and he's not concerned about any of the worldly things, what you can say. is like mobiles and the other gaming machines and all what the children are playing with these days. He just wants simple toys. So that's another thing. He's never pestered us about giving him presents. Though being the only child, he does receive a lot of gifts from everyone and from his own dad, but he doesn't pester us. I think that's about it, what I'll have to share today.
Thank you,
Thanks.
ma'am. That was so touching. Thank you so much. And now we have Mrs. Rekha Alathur, mother of Ria, who's a multi-talented and free-spirited teenager who never fails to speak her mind out.
Yeah. Thank you, Karen. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you including me in this. Given that I'm a latecomer to the Buddy Center. But my daughter and I, we really, really have a lot of fun and, meeting all of you guys and being like Ria's having the opportunity to be exposed to all the others, different things. And she's been pretty receptive about it. So, I think I resonate with everything that all the moms have been mentioning so far. Even like for me, life was like really on the right path. I would say at that time, I thought I did my engineering, I got married, I came to the US. I was working in IT, I was doing really well. And then Ria happened. And after about 18 months, when she was 18, we found out that, she is on the autism spectrum. And then from there, life completely took a detour. So it was a big change for me. I was a very, very on the go person. I had everything planned out. I knew exactly what my life had to be. And then she happened. So it was hard in the beginning. I learned to then, take a step back. I learned to focus on what is important. And she was the most important thing. So I started to focus on her strengths. I started to work on her weaknesses. She taught me from that from working with her, she taught me that everything that I have taken for granted is really very hard. Like, saying your first word, understanding what a person is saying, following directions, everything that we have just taken for granted was completely alien to her. She did her own thing. She would, challenge everything I was asking her to do. And then that taught me that no, it's not as easy as I think it is. And then I slowed everything down. I kind of became patient with her. And slowly, she started to emerge. Her personality started to come up and mine started to disappear. Her first words, her first achievement, any little thing we appreciated, we celebrated, and we made her feel like she was the best thing that happened to us in the world and that she is the best. Another thing she taught me was like to just accept and not find, reasons to feel guilty, to find people to, blame what is this, like what situation we are in. I just stopped doing that. And I started to enjoy all the little things that, she was doing, whether it was saying a few words, whether she was stumbling, she just started emerging into becoming very athletic. She loved singing. So she was more into like the performing arts kind of thing rather than, education and into the academics part of it. But I learned to accept that because she enjoyed what she did. She was so happy. And it gave me a lot of joy to just see that there was this little child who really had so many limitations, but at the end of the day, she used to do something and she used to make herself happy and feel very confident about herself. Her confidence is something I cannot explain. It just amazed me. She, we used to take her to so many classes. So one of her therapists actually told me this. He told me that she has more confidence. She was about 4 years old. And he told me she has more confidence than skill, and that will take her a long way. And that is really what happened. She was like, she's amazing. She thinks she can do anything and she will go after it and she will be determined. Like if you tell her, you know, you don't even have to tell her. She will practice and practice and practice till she gets it right. And that is something I learned from her, because for me, it's like, you know, it doesn't, if 2 times I try and it doesn't happen, I move on to something else, or I find a workaround and just, you know, go with it. But she will do it the right way. And it is amazing to watch how much time and effort she will spend on that. Another thing she taught me was like not to pick, you know, like to pick the battles to fight on. Like there are 100 things, there are 100 problems. You just pick on what is important for you at that moment and only look and focus on that one. So I know, I mean, she had learning disabilities at school. She had learning disabilities with speech, and it was, so I only, and behaviors, there were tons and tons of behaviors that we deal with. So she taught me pick on one and work on one. So that's what I did. That has also, I think, helped her and me understand each other. And most important, she taught me was patience. I mean, I never like, it's like patience, and also like, you know, what you expect back from her. Like when you teach, like everyone's talking about teaching ABCs and, you know, cutting vegetables and stuff like that. She would never, in the beginning, never like give me a sense that she has understood what I'm saying. Like her receptive language was also a challenge. So I would never understand that, does she really follow what I'm saying? But I kept at it, and I was patient. If I yelled or I lost my patience, then that entire thing is ruined. She will never come back to that activity again. She's like, oh my God, you know, you're going to scream at me. I'm not going to do it now. So I learned not to do that. I learned to just continue in a very calm and monotonous voice when she is not able to understand. And if she does not show me that she's understanding, I would not give up. You just continue to do it. And then one fine day, maybe tomorrow, a year later, it will just click. So that's something I learned from her. I'm like, she is observing, but you know, she's not showing me right now, but it is going to happen. So that, as I waited for that patiently, I didn't push her. I also, what do you call it? She taught me that, you know, when she meets friends or when she meets people, her way of interacting is different. It does not mean that she's not interested in them, but she just interacts with them differently. And it amazed me to see that her friends responded in a certain way with her, which she was okay with. And, you know, it was not necessary for me to always constantly intervene and say, no, Ria, they're saying this, so you have to reply like this. It was not necessary. So I stopped doing that. I mean, I learned that, you know, she has her own way to communicate with her friends, and her friends have their own way to communicate with her. And after I started doing that, I noticed that they had a better time, and I didn't have to constantly be there monitoring and, you know, interfering with their stuff. So those, I think, are basically what I learned. So, and, you know, so accepting, advocating for her, I learned that was a big thing, I think, that helped me and her, is to advocate, to bring to, you know, bring to people's attention, like talk about her, talk about her strengths, you know, talk to her teachers so that they will be able to work with her better, and talk to them to see how they are, you know, working with her, so I can adopt the same things. Lot of learning in the nutrition and in that department. She went gluten-free, dairy-free, a lot of things that we changed in our diets. So we all adopted that, and I learned how to make gluten-free food. We baked cookies, and because at that time nothing was available here, so we had to bake our own cookies and breads. And so I learned a lot of baking, which I have never done before. So you know, it's just that life is different. I stopped looking forward to, like, you know, the usual stuff. She'll go to college, she'll do this, she'll do that. I just stopped looking. I celebrate every day that she does anything new. We are thankful. And that's about it pretty much. Life has slowed down. We just don't stress ourselves out with what will happen tomorrow. Consciously, I I'm the worrier. So consciously, I stop myself and I just think about, okay, let's stop. There's no tomorrow. Let's just see what we can do today to make, things go happy and like everyone be happy at home. So that's pretty much what I have learned from her.
Thank you so much, Rekha. That is absolutely so touching. I think we all share so much in common. We all do have a lot in common. And I think most parents with special need kids, we take back a lot of similar learnings from all of them. I'd like to share my learning, my life lessons from my brave heart, Kanika. When she was 3 years old, uh, she was having a great time in the little play area in our society, running up the slides, swings, and just running around with her friends and having a ball of a time. And suddenly, she was not there. She was missing. I couldn't find her. So the first thing is like something must have happened. She must have fallen somewhere or hurt herself, and you always think the worst. So I ran around searching for her, and she was there at the just behind the clubhouse, and she was down on her knees praying. So I asked her, "What are you doing here? Why are you praying?" So she said, "I'm having such a lovely time. I was having so much fun. I just wanted to say thank you, God." I was speechless. I didn't know how to react. All I could do is also kneel down and say thank you, God. So I've learned not to take my happy moments for granted, my blessings every day, to be grateful for whatever I have today. Then she was 5. She decided she wanted to learn her cycle. All the other kids in the society cycled every evening, and she had those side supports, and she would go around with her cycle too. And one evening she decided, I don't want the supports. Please take them out. Why? Because the other kids in the society were teasing her that she had the side supports. So she said, take them off. So we said, all right. We took out the side supports, and down she went with her cycle, and Karen with her kids running after her the whole evening, trying to worry not that she fall off her bike. And by the end of the evening, she was able to cycle. It's something she was very determined about, something she makes her mind about, and she goes all out about it. Same way she learned to, I think, skate or play basketball. So we never really stopped her doing what she really wanted to be doing. We just let her go on with it. Yes, the heartaches were there, but that didn't stop her, or she was not afraid of doing what she really wanted to be doing. So I think a learning lesson there was persistence, her determination, doing things with conviction. We very often lose on it because we are so scared, we are so worried what will happen next. So not only our worries gets transferred to our kids, and we generally stop them from doing and think, at least we think they're not capable of, but they definitely don't think so. And they really go ahead and do exactly what they should be doing. So don't stop them. Then she was 6. School was a nightmare, absolute nightmare. She couldn't keep up with the rest of the class. She had a problem copying from the board. She had a problem with the speed of writing. She couldn't keep up with the other kids who were much faster than her. Unfortunately, there was no empathy, there was no sympathy, there was no consideration, and she would get whacked. She would get thrown out of the class, but there was never a complaint. I never knew about it. I probably would have never known about it unless one of her friends came and told me about it. As a teenager, she was locked out of the class. She was kept made to sit at the back of the class. She was never allowed to sit with the rest of the kids at the lunch table. She was told she had a contagious disease called epilepsy. She did not complain. Nobody, I mean, again, some kind soul or some angel looking after her brought it to my notice and told me about it. Otherwise, no complaints. Even today, if she looks back or she talks about it, there is no resentment, there is no hatred, maybe a little disappointment that the people that she looked up to, the people who she thought would come to her aid, did not. So, yeah, for me, it was a different thing. I would have liked to go and shake them up. But she's taught me that let it go. Like Ria sings all the time, let it go. Yes, so she's taught me to let things go and let people's karma take care of them and move on. So I have moved on. If she has, so can I. After about 8,900 seizures and counting, her resilience to bounce back is absolutely amazing. She has this zest for life. She's gone through many dangerous falls. She's gone through glass doors and windows and n number of bumps on her head if you touch her head. And she just bounces back. She'll just get up and get on with life like from where she left out. So the seizures don't really stop her from living her life. So it's a big lesson for me to move on and get on with life. Just a seizure is not going to stop her from living her life. Well, now she wants to learn the car. So, okay, we shall learn the car now. She has accepted herself amazingly well. It was very difficult. I think we tend to compare our childhoods with that of our children and see the things we were able to do or we did when we were that age. And now our children aren't able to do as much as we did. I think that's a very wrong thing. When the child themselves have accepted themselves the way they are, I think it's about time we did too. And she's so happy. She, in spite of her setbacks and many things that she can't do, she has a little world of her books and music and videos and YouTube, and it goes on. And she's so happy in it. So she's a very satisfied person, a very satisfied child. Even when she was much younger, I could take her to a toy shop and she would never insist that I buy her something over there. I could walk out of the toy shop without buying her anything, and she was quite happy with it. So yes, she's such a happy and very satisfied person, and just happy. She goes about saying, "This is me," and yes, in fact, I think it's very difficult for us to say that this is me. So I am very grateful for all we have, and thank you to Kanika. I could go on and on about her, but I think we are out of time. So I'd like to conclude. Our lives will never be the same again. Our children made sure of that. And I think we are all grateful for it. If anyone who knew us some years ago will agree, we are not the same individuals. The children not only changed our lives, but also changed our attitudes, our personalities, perceptions, and our outlook of life. They have made us better human beings. Today, we see life through a different lens. I take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for sharing with us so many life learning lessons. No matter how well educated you may be, our children continue to teach us daily new life lessons that no college or master's degree was capable of teaching us. So very proud of them all. Three cheers to our children. God bless them all. Thank you, and all have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Karen. Thank you. That was very well said.
Thank you, Karen. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you.